2, 1.
I'm talking now with Katie Sproles. She is the Public Relations and Marketing Director here at the Schnitzer Museum, and this is so exciting to be in here. Tell me about this gallery.
Well, we're very excited because this is our new Changing Exhibitions Gallery. It's 4,000 square feet, and we haven't had a gallery of this scale before. And so with this space, we can do things we were never able to previously. We're opening with a Andy Warhol print show. So we have 126 screen prints that Andy Warhol made, and this is all from the Jordan Schnitzer Family Foundation collection. And it's a wonderful overview of Andy Warhol's career.
Now, Andy Warhol, of course, is an artist of our age, but for those people who might not be familiar with the artist, give us a little background.
Well, Andy Warhol, I think, is one of the most famous artists of the last 100 years, and really brought up a lot of questions about what is art. I mean, he really introduced pop art.
Now we're going to take a tour right here on Oregon Living Television of this fantastic exhibit, so stay with us. Oregon Living Television has an exciting opportunity to visit now with Jordan Schnitzer. We are here at the museum with the Andy Warhol exhibit. This is the grand opening. We just saw the ribbon cutting, and I know that this is a dream that was in the making for 26 years. Can you give us an idea of how that dream started?
You know, I went to university and was an English major. And when I was getting ready to graduate, I wanted to honor some English professors. So I ended up donating a James Lee Hansen sculpture in front of PLC. And that was done in 1974. Never would I have dreamed that, 30 years later, I'd be standing in the renovated museum in front of prints from my collection, seeing thousands of people in this fabulous museum. So it truly is, as you say, a dream come true. Took a few years in the making, but it's a dream come true.
It took years in the making, of course, and your perseverance and dedication to it really shows what an influence that the artist Andy Warhol has been on you.
Andy Warhol, I think, will go down as probably being the preeminent artist of the last half of the 20th century. He was really a chronicler of our times, and the themes that are in these prints, the soup cans, the Marilyns, the Maos that we're sitting in front of, I think are major statements artistically and politically about the life and times of the 20th century.
Absolutely. And what he did so well was take the ordinary and really focus our attention on it so that we would see it in another light.
So he's dealing politically about making a statement about the last leader of the communist country and doing it in a capitalist way and showing the juxtaposition of those ideas. He's showing us the influence of the media in a movie-like image after image after image, and the importance that media had in the 20th century. Prior to the 20th century, there never was a way for a filmmaker, a TV show, to be shown to millions of people at the same time with the exact same message. Major influence on how we live today, good and bad. The soup cans. And when those came out, the art critics just really panned him and said, this isn't art. But Andy Warhol was trying to say that art is just not limited to a museum. We have art all around us. When you're in a grocery store, look at those soup cans, look at the color, look at the aesthetic design. That's one message. Politically, Campbell Soup was the first company to come out with a mass consumer product. Now, if we think about soup as an item, and it's the ramification politically of soup, it probably is the most staple of any food product that people have grown up eating. Now, how for time immemorial was soup made? It was made by the mother, the grandmother, by women in a kitchen. Campbell Soup came up with the first mass product which began to free a woman from the kitchen. So if you think politically about women's liberation, Campbell Soup was at the start of it. And that began a trend which, if you think about, led to the Gloria Steinem days and all the wonderful changes in society today that recognize that no one should be a slave to any work or political doctrine. So quite symbolic in terms of what he did with those soup cans. Okay? Interesting theme.
It is an interesting theme, and it's so significant that it would be represented here at the university because it's a think tank where it's always, stimulating your thought process. And of course, for you to have the exhibit here is very significant and important.
Yes.
As you touch on the influence of the Campbell soup, and of course the design and everybody, the thinking that goes into the creation of labels and the marketing and the advertising, and then also how it ties in with women's studies.
Yes.
And as women have progressed from the kitchen,
Right.
and many women, especially in my age category, we have lived liberated lives, and we don't realize where our grandmothers,
That's right.
what the roles were that they had to break away from.
One thing about a university art museum is it not only has the opportunity but the obligation to push the envelope in terms of work, because that's what universities do in our society.
We are so fortunate to have it here. And let's make notice of all the contributors, because there are thousands of names
Yes.
that have really everybody that's made it possible for this work to be featured.
Yes, in the last 3 years of this campaign to raise $14 million, we've had over 800 contributors. So every person, whether it's $1 or a lot bigger number, every dollar's been important. And now the challenge, we now have a wonderful facility, but a facility is just bricks and mortar. And without people coming in, without programs, without different groups in the community and the whole region coming and saying, could we have a meeting here, a Rotary Club meeting, a Symphony Auxiliary meeting, whatever. Make this part of your routine. Make it alive by filling it with people.
Well, you heard the challenge, folks. I want to thank you, Mr. Schnitzer, for taking the time to talk with me, especially in depth. And that's what our program is all about. Oregon Living Television, we will air this numerous times in different markets so that people can really come to understand the value that is right here in Eugene. Also, you heard this place is open to our public, and utilize it. Make it part of your routine. Bring your children, bring your parents and your grandparents, because this is so, so valuable. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
For Oregon Living, I'm Kathy Kingsbury.